What's up, Brotherhood channel? Happy Wednesday. It's your Wednesday guy, Kai. And this week's topic is what we want out of life. Now, I didn't write down notes for today's video, which I kind of feel like maybe I should have, and I'm kind of feeling a little nervous about that because usually what happens with videos, especially when I don't write down notes, and even sometimes when I do write down notes, is I'll film it, film the whole video, be done, go to watch it one time before I upload it, and I'll like see all these parts where I'm like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have said that, or I forgot to say this, or I should have said it this way, or that wasn't clear, and all these things that I want to like change and all that. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but this is kind of a big topic where there are a few things I can say about it, and I'm hoping that I just remember everything I want to say and I say it in a good and clear way. So just bear with me, y'all. But anyways, like I said, this week's topic is what we want out of life. So at first I wasn't 100% sure which direction to take this. I think especially when it comes to like what I want out of life, I'm still kind of learning and figuring that out myself. But it's an interesting time for this topic because there has been some clarity in my life recently on what I might want in in the future, at least like career wise, or like to do with my time, at least, even if it's not like career wise. I'll clarify in a little bit, but it has a lot to do with my college education, and I'm about to start college again in 2 weeks. Start school again. I've been out for the summer, so I've really been working on getting my classes in order, and what courses I want to take, and talked to an advisor a few weeks ago. Had an appointment with my advisor to kind of figure out what I want to do. I actually changed one of my minors and all that, so I thought that might be the best place to start, just kind of what's going on with that and what I want to do with my college education and kind of using the stuff I learned in school in the future. So, yeah, where should I start though with that story? I guess to just take it back, I've been in college since like 2015, I think was the year I took my first classes, and I I actually am so I guess what I'm trying to say is I would be usually around graduation or I've already graduated, but there was a lot of major changes. Like I changed my major a lot during that time. I had some times when I just wasn't into school and I failed some classes, and I had a couple of semesters I took off completely. So because of that, I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say behind, but I'm a little bit further from graduating than it would seem like. And so right now, after doing all the math, it looks like I might graduate in the spring of 2021. So that's kind of where things are right now. But it looks like I may have finally figured out what I want to do, because that was the one of the biggest issues, is I never knew what I wanted to do with school or like what courses I wanted to take exactly. I started out with a Converge broadcast media major, which has to do with film and television and all that. And I really, I've always been interested in film and television. I think I probably always will be. That's still something I definitely want to do on the side, even if it's just making YouTube videos, even if it's just talking this way, or maybe at some point making little short films, little short series for fun. I think that'd be really cool. Currently, I just don't have like the people to make that happen, like actors, basically, because I don't have an extensive like friend group or like a lot of time or all that stuff. But I think that'd be a really cool future thing just to do on the side and stuff. But I started realizing that, at least at my school, the way that major works is you kind of have to finish all your core requirements before you can get to any of those fun classes. And where I was when I first started college, that just wasn't looking like it was going to work out for me the way I wanted it to. I was not into core classes, and I could not get my mind into them, and I did poorly, and I just decided that might need to do a different major. And I ended up changing to communication studies for a little bit, and then I changed to psychology. And finally, I settled on a major that my school offers called integrative studies, which is kind of where you can pick actually 3 majors and take a certain number of classes from each of those majors and kind of combine it to get your degree. So I finally settled on that, and throughout that I kept communications, which was a previous major, and I kept psychology, which was a previous major, but I also added social work. And even that process, I went through a whole bunch of different majors, kind of trying to pick and choose which three I wanted, but finally ended on those based on the classes I've taken in the past and also what my interests are. And then I was doing a double minor in LGBT studies and social science. I'm really interested in anthropology, but because of the classes I took and the order I took them, my advisor and I decided that it'd be better to do a social science minor than an anthropology minor and just kind of use my anthropology classes that I already took and a few more that I'm going to take to fulfill that social science minor. So I have a social science minor, but it's a main focus on like anthropology for that. But then there was this LGBT studies minor, and that's the one I actually just recently changed for a few reasons. One being, I am LGBT myself. I think no matter what I end up doing, I'm always going to have a step, like a foot in the LGBT community, and I do want to work with the LGBT community, but being LGBT myself, that kind of helps with that anyways. So I wasn't sure if I need to take a full course load on that. I mean, obviously it always helps, and I would have if I felt like that was for the best, but also the LGBT minor requirements kind of changed a little bit at my school in a way that it was okay, but where I am in school it just didn't match up as well anymore with what I want to do and stuff. So I ended up changing to health promotion minor, and throughout this whole journey, I think I finally figured out a little bit of what I want to do in the future, and how like social science, anthropology, health promotion, psychology, social work, and communication studies can all kind of fit into my future goals. So basically, what I would love to do, and I don't know exactly all the details, I haven't looked a ton into it. I haven't actually looked at actual careers in this stuff, so I'm just kind of saying what my ideal like scenario would be and what I kind of want to do. I love to work like with the LGBT community, people of color, um, people like transitioning from prison to life outside of prison, but also the inside prison population, as well as people with people, trying to think of the right way to put this, with who use substances, whether they are at a point in their life where they want to improve on that, like try to stop using substances so much, or even if they're at a point in their life where they're just having trouble with substances and using them heavily and stuff like that. I want to work with all those different populations and definitely where those populations intersect with mental health. And I don't necessarily want to be like a counselor really, but I would love to like do activism, talk to people, talk to lawmakers, talk to the general public, do advocacy about mental health and mental health awareness and how it affects these different communities, and also kind of just educate people on mental health and taking care of your mental health and skills to take care of your mental health and why that's important and how that's important. I'd love to maybe be a part of like a harm reduction center, an LGBT center, maybe even just like a mental health center, and kind of play that role of social media activism and advocacy and awareness and getting the word out there, and also maybe even doing some classes and just sharing that with people, just really making mental health a priority. And my camera's about to like shut off, I think. Alright guys, sorry about that. My memory card actually got full, but basically all I was saying is, yeah, I really want to work that role of mental health educator, advocacy, activism, and working specifically with communities like the LGBTQ community, people of color, people transitioning from prison to outside life, people still in prison, and people who use substances, and kind of working with those communities to educate on the importance of mental health, help with mental health skills, and also working to advocate for those communities. I think harm reduction centers, especially for substance use, are really interesting things and could be really good for the future of like that whole area of health. So, if you don't know exactly what those are, please feel free to look into it. I'm not gonna like go into it in this video, but I think that'd be really cool to work at a harm reduction center for one. But yeah, again, like also LGBT center, mental health, all that stuff is just really what I love to do. So that's kind of where I'm hoping that the psychology, social work, communication studies, health promotion minor, and the social science minor, anthropology classes will kind of all converge together to help me with that. And even if like it came to where I work like a different job most of the time, like working at a grocery store or something like that, and then on the side I could still do my activism and advocacy and education and working with those populations, I think I would be okay and pretty happy with that too. Ideally it'd be to have a career in the mental health stuff, but as long as I can do that somehow, I think I'd be pretty okay, pretty content. So that's kind of where I am with that. I think other than that, family life will all fall into place and stuff, hopefully. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I want to consider like foster parenting and adopting and stuff like that, depending on where I am in life and stuff like that. I think it'd be cool to have a dog. I used to have some doggies in my life, and so that'd be cool to have that again, because that's a really cool special bond you can have. And yeah, other than that, I still think, that's a pretty large chunk of things to kind of have figured out. I think, especially with school and future career, or like just what you want to do with your time in the future, how you want to contribute to society basically, is really sometimes a hard thing to figure out. So I'm glad I have a little bit more grasp on that. But other than that, I still think I'm kind of trying to figure things out, and this is a very new thing for me that I was able to figure out recently with the whole college stuff. So I would say just don't sweat it if you still don't have things completely figured out, because, I'm 23 and I literally just got to where I am now, and I'm still figuring things out and probably will be for the rest of my life. So yeah, but it's cool to have some kind of idea of where where I want to be in the future, and yeah, it'd be definitely cool to work in the mental health, education, advocacy, and activism area, and with minoritized populations and some of the populations who do have a lot of higher mental health stuff going on because of society and the way people see them and treat them and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it's about that. I guess that's that. I will see you all next week. And as always, stay strong, stay safe, and stay you. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.